Jean-Yves, thank you for joining me. How was your session, first of all? A lot of people there, I heard, and lots of questions. What did you think of kind of trying to get your message across today?
Thank you. Great to be here, and thank you for organizing the event. I think the net zero industry is booming, and I think it's great to see. What we see and what we saw this morning is there's quite a lot of uncertainty and a lot of change in the industry, net zero and also energy industry, and therefore organizations are slightly uncertain on when and how to make investment decisions, and therefore they need some support and some help to understand what are the risks, but also what are the opportunities, what are the mature technologies, and what the technologies which will make a significant difference over the next 5, 10 years, 15 years, for example. So there's a huge amount of sort of events, action which needs to be planned, a lot of investments required, but that needs to be made with some understanding of the risks and but also the opportunities in the marketplace.
If you think about where, I mean, I don't know whether you caught the mayor earlier, and also the idea of, is it a political lever that needs to be pulled to give the certainty? Because then businesses go, oh, this is my legal framework, this is what I'm going to invest in. But there's another argument where you heard, the mayor said, let's get the businesses. Ofgem's boss was saying earlier on, we want to hear from you. Is there an element that businesses can actually find a way, big companies like yours, to help clear some of that risk uncertainty? Because people are going, I'm not too sure about the political risk, my financial risk, I don't know where to go to. So does someone like Centrica come in there and go, right, actually, we can help you with some form of stability?
Thank you. I think everybody has got to play a role.
Yeah.
The political side of things will need to provide certainty and clarity about the policy orientation of the next few
But they're generally wide
decades.
levers, aren't they? We're going to
That's
decarbonise,
right.
we're going to do this.
At the same time, it's about security of supply and it's about job creation. And for this, large organizations like Centrica can provide the technical know-how and the industrial development activities to support the political policies and the strategies from government. So for me, it's a bit of both. Clarity and certainty from the political side of the equation. And nationally, Centrica has got the industrial know-how and the technical know-how and expertise to make it happen. And we've seen that for the hydrogen industry, for example, where Centrica is the key player and developing all aspects of the upcoming hydrogen new energy source, from storage to distribution, transmission and use. But a large organization like Centrica, like any other large organization, needs certainty and clarity about the policy and government strategy kind of development of the next couple of decades.
Hydrogen is a very interesting topic. John Butterworth was here earlier from National Gas, and he said, we're going to lean into it. It'll start being 20% of what we've got before we have to do massive changes. Many critics are out there of hydrogen saying it is just too expensive to do. It's the old kind of bit like the fusion, too much energy involved. Is it clean enough? Is it green enough? You're investing as an organization. I've seen your CEO talk about it. You're seeing this as a future kind of bridging technology. Do you see that hydrogen will play enough of a role that businesses will say, actually, this is now part of our fuel mix, and they'll take that on? Because I think there's a bit of confusion out there about whether hydrogen is the one to go to.
Yeah, rightly so. But at the same time, in my mind and in our minds, hydrogen will play a role alongside other technologies and other energy sources. And ultimately, replacing fossil fuels is difficult because they've got credentials and attributes which make them very easy and very efficient form of energy. And there's always, in my mind, 4 factors. It's about can the alternative energy source be produced at scale everywhere? Can it be produced at a cost that is acceptable to the market and is low carbon or zero carbon ideally? And also, can it be produced and used so that it doesn't disturb significantly the existing operations?
Absolutely, the investment in new kit and stuff like that. Yeah.
And so within these 4 factors, hydrogen has got a role to play and has got the attributes and credentials to meet most of these criteria, and therefore will play a significant role, especially in the UK, because the UK is very lucky in the way that it's got some assets which have been used for the natural gas, which can be reused for the storage of hydrogen and distribution of hydrogen as well. And therefore, from a security of supply and energy resilience from a country perspective, hydrogen will play a key role over the next few decades.
You're here, and we're glad you're here. And I said right at the beginning of my speech that some people will criticise the fact that we've got Shell and Centrica and Total and all that. But, you know, Chris Skidmore said, you're going to need all these big major players to transform. The question is how fast and to be held to account. You know, you're sitting here as a representative. Is Centrica ready to be held to account? Is it ready to start to move and shift away as it does, as they're all trying to do, away from the base fossil fuel economy to a future that is as a cleaner energy company?
So the short answer is yes. Centrica as a group has committed to become net zero by 2045 for our Scope 1 and Scope 2 emissions, and 2050 for our Scope 3 emissions, which are ultimately where most of our emissions are, which are customers of Centrica and British Gas. And therefore, we are committing to provide the necessary infrastructure for generating renewable source of energy for the country. And also we are committed to decarbonize the energy so that our customers can decarbonize as well. So as an organization, Centrica is now structured to support this and reflect that commitment, which is a commitment which has been approved by our board and our investors, and therefore is here to stay. So this is a commitment over the short, medium and long term.
And I think this is the one thing that probably people don't understand. It will take time, but I think there'll be jumps. You know, right now it seems very stagnant. And I'd just like to end with what your take on how the progress to net zero will happen. Because, you know, you could say, oh, it's all going to be like a nice linear growth. But I don't see it that way. How do you see it?
There are some actions which needs to be taken now because some of the decarbonization technology are already mature and therefore needs to be deployed as soon as possible. Decarbonizing heat and mobility will take some time, hence why the necessary investment for these sources of carbon emission needs to be made now so that we can basically pave the way and accelerate over the next decades to decarbonize these sectors as well.